The general manager of the Dominica Banana Producers Limited, Errol Emmanuel, is calling on farmers in Dominica to take necessary action to protect their crop. His call comes as today marks the first day of the 2010 hurricane season, which is expected to be very intense. Emmanuel has also cautioned livestock farmers to ensure that their animals are kept in a safe environment.
Yes, we are into the hurricane season, and the forecast is showing that the hurricane season is going to be one that's very active. Some scientists have already indicated that the seawater is about 3 degrees warmer than it was last year. So in terms of preparation for the hurricane season, bananas at a certain wind speed will be destroyed. But then during the season you have occasional storms, and the best the farmers can do is ensure that they do as much propping as possible, ensure that they tie the bananas after the sleeve and the flower. Also ensure that the drains are cleared so that the waterways in the drains can be cleared, that the water can move and not cause damage in terms of heavy soil erosion, etc. In terms of the fertilizer application, it would be advisable that they do placement fertilizing during that time of the year, so as they can get a better result in terms of not having runoffs of their fertilizers from heavy rains, or in terms of having a hurricane or storm. But we know that if a hurricane is going to come, farmers would advise them to ensure that they take necessary action to protect themselves and properties. Also, in terms of livestock farmers, to ensure that their animals are kept in a place that is as safe as possible.
Emmanuel is also advising farmers who sell to other traders to explore the possibility of insuring their crops, as they could benefit tremendously should they be affected by a disaster.
It is advisable that farmers ensure that in selling that some type of, there's wind crop insurance which is set up for that type of coverage. It is advisable that farmers seek to ensure that in exporting or selling bananas to exporters, that they have that type of insurance coverage, which is an initial assistance for post-storm or post-hurricane damage, whatever the case may be. So listen to your radios, and also farmers ensure that they have claim forms, so that in the event that there's a storm that they have damage, they can make the necessary claims to wind crop insurance as far as bananas is concerned.
That's General Manager of the Dominica Banana Producers Limited, Errol Emmanuel. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit says the Caribbean has to take a strong arm against criminal activities in their countries. Prime Minister Skerrit was speaking on the heels of recent killing activities in Jamaica, as fighting between security forces and supporters of an alleged drug dealer, Christopher Dudas Cook, continues.
We have to take a strong arm against criminal activity in our countries throughout the Caribbean, because we spend too much time and resources dealing with the consequences and implications of those persons, of the actions of those criminals. We are spending millions for national and regional security, things that we should be spending improving infrastructure, creating jobs for our people, ensuring that our children have the technology at schools and at the homes. We have to divert those resources to national and regional security, because if there's no security, people don't feel safe. They won't come, they won't invest in your country, your people would get out of the country, and you would have a totally dysfunctional society. So every one of us, not only the politicians, but the police officers, the customs officers, the public officers, our citizens, we all must play our part.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, he says citizens must also give their government the freedom to take certain actions.
Because if a parent sees her son bringing in lots of money at the home, and she knows that her son is unemployed, and she accepts it, she is encouraging that kind of criminal behavior. So we all have to play our part in fighting criminal actions, and we must give the governments the freedom to take the kind of actions that are necessary, because sometimes the actions are not politically popular. You know, the legislation which you have to put in place to strengthen the hands of both the police and the judiciary are not always popular. Some legislation must be draconian in nature in order for us to fight it, because the kind of technology, the kind of approaches the criminals are now taking is beyond the present laws we have on our books, and therefore we have to do catch up in many respects. So what is happening in Jamaica, it is something that all of us have to be mindful of and learn from. You know, we have to take very strong action, and in Dominica, I make no bones about it, we will go after the criminals wherever they are. And we have been going to our parliaments to pass laws to strengthen the existing legislation. We'll be going further to pass some very draconian legislation. And I want to ensure that Dominicans can walk the streets at any time of night or day and not feel concerned about their safety. I want Dominicans to go to the hot springs and to the beach at any time of the day or the morning and not feel that their security is compromised.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. Still in more news this evening, Acting Prime Minister Reginald Austrie has told the residents of the Carib Territory to do more to build their community. He was speaking at the official opening of a new state-of-the-art primary school in Salabia yesterday. Mr. Austrie is encouraging the residents to use the facility as a means of improving their standard of living.
Let us ensure that our children continue to learn about our culture. So you see what's happening in Jamaica and all those other countries. Basically, people are losing touch of their culture. And once you lose touch of your culture, you basically losing touch of yourself. And our government believes that you can play a bigger part in teaching your children the Kalinago language, for example. We have given you this new school plan. So I appeal to you as a community to work with the principal, to work with the Ministry of Education, so that you may use this structure to train your people in various aspects of culture, notably language, arts and craft, for which you are world famous. It is your school. It has been built to offer you, the Kalinago people, an opportunity to develop yourself, and so you need to make full use of it. I want you to do more to advance the Kalinago nation, and I know you have the potential for doing so.
Acting Prime Minister Reginald Austrie. Health Coordinator of the Eastern Caribbean Conference of the Seventh-day Adventists, Priscilla Prevost, says a number of non-communicable diseases could be avoided if the nation takes a decision to eat and live healthy. Dominica is teaming up with other countries to observe Caribbean Nutrition Day today.
And if our community, for population, would take in those make three simple changes. Those who are smoking should stop smoking. Those who are not yet smoking, do not start smoking, and that we can eat healthy and be physically active. Then we can prevent the majority of chronic diseases like hypertension, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, the four major killers here in our Dominican society and in the Caribbean society.
Health Coordinator of the East Caribbean Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, Priscilla Prevost. She says the population should avoid totally the things that are harmful and using moderately the things that are good.
The thing is, before, people used to think of nutrition and poor nutrition as undernutrition. So would say, well, okay, we do not see malnutrition in terms of undernutrition as we used to see in the 60s and in the early 70s. But what we are seeing today is overnutrition, and that is a nutritional problem. Once we have so many diabetics, so many hypertensive, so many persons with cancer, these diseases are nutritionally related, and therefore wherever we have a high incidence of hypertension and diabetes, we know that we do have nutritional problems here in Dominica.
Health Coordinator of the Eastern Caribbean Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, Priscilla Prevost. Meantime, National Coordinator for Health Promotion in the Ministry of Health, Helen Royer, says one should not wait until they are diagnosed with a disease to take precaution.
But I think your mindset, what you have been cultured into, what you have been oriented to, because we so quickly change. If I were to know tomorrow that God forbid that I'm diagnosed with cancer, my whole lifestyle, we just change so drastically.